Okay, so this is an excellent maturation graph which we use to demonstrate what goes on during the maturation of Scotch whisky in a cask in the warehouse. If you take this axis as representing flavour and this axis as representing years and time, if we start right at this end, this is new make, for in this purpose, Oban Single Malt Whisky, and this is new make Oban straight off the still. As you can see, it's colourless. It has no colour yet because it hasn't spent any time maturing in the cask. It's also fairly immature. If you were to taste new make Oban, it would be very fiery, quite immature going down. But what you will notice is that it already has a very light, fruity, new make spirit character, which is the distillery character, okay? And as time progresses, when we put the whisky or the spirit into the cask, it spends time maturing in the wood, and it's breathing in and out of the wood. It's beginning to take some of the characters from and the influence from the wood, and it begins to pick up some of the flavourings from the wood. And for Oban particularly, the light sort of honey notes and some sort of vanilla characters as well. And as we're beginning to pick up the notes from the cask, we're also beginning to lose the immaturity because the cask is maturing. And as oak is a very porous wood, it allows the harsher alcohols to evaporate off. So that means we're starting to lose the immaturity. We're also starting to take on some colour from the cask. The natural tannins in the oak wood give whisky some of its lovely colour. So you can see that we're starting to get some colour influence there. So as we move along, I would say maybe between 5 to 10 years, we're starting to lose the immaturity. So the whisky begins to soften out and become less harsh. And once we get to about this point, I would say this is roughly where the Oban 14-year-old would sit. So you can see we've lost all our immaturity. We've now got a nice influence coming from the cask, which is very balanced in the Oban malt, and it's got this lovely honeyed overtones which give Oban a lovely silky smooth finish. We've got a lovely deep amber colour, and also the distillery character is, as always, prevalent. As we move this indicator along, you can see that we're also moving along in years and time. And as you can see, what happens, the longer that the whisky matures in the cask, the more the influence or the cask plays on the influence of the whisky. And when we get to very old whiskies, maybe up to 30, 40, even 50 years of age, what you find is that the whisky tastes an awful lot of the actual cask, the woody character, and it's also very deep in colour as well because it's had a lot of time to mature in the cask. Now at that point, it really comes down to the individual whisky, whether you've got a nice balance there or not. People do tend to think the older the whisky, the better. That's true to a point, but by the time you get to this point, it's very, it can actually taste more of the cask than of the individual whisky itself. So it's a fine balancing act that the distillers have to achieve. So really, this simple graph can explain maturation very, very comprehensively. Okay.